Alright, you guys, here's your guys' review on factoring quadratics. So remember, notes are going to be due, right? All your guys' notes are going to be due through sending it to the Google Classroom. And remember, you guys have Khan Academy homework as well. So let's begin. So you guys, we have this thing called quadratics, and this is what we call standard form. It looks like this. Y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. So what we're going to learn today is we are going to learn how to factor out quadratics from standard form. So this way only works when a is equal to 1, okay? And this is where you guys make your x method, and a times c, the a and c goes up here, multiply together, and b goes down here. And then those numbers, you guys, is the numbers that you guys have to try to figure out. So first you ask yourself, what two numbers multiplied together gets you a times c, and what two numbers add together gets you b. So if we look at first example, we are going to use the notes from above exactly for that. So here's standard form, right? So let's make the x. So for some students, you guys, it's really easy to just write what your a value is, what's your b value, and what's your c value. And then you guys just use the x method. So our a times c is going to be 1 times negative 10, which is negative 10 on top. And our b value is negative 3. So we're going to put it there. So then you guys ask yourself what two numbers multiplied that gets you negative 10, and what two numbers add together gives you their b value, which is negative 3. Well, if you guys take a look, negative 5 times 2 is negative 10, and negative 5 plus 2 would give you guys negative 3. So I know some students like to make a factor list, and this would help them to also determine what two things added together or subtracted together gives you negative 3. And since a is equal to 1, all you guys have to do is, these are your guys' factors. So it's going to be x minus 5 times x plus 2. And there's your guys' factors. These two things multiplied together will give you that trinomial slash quadratic. Alright, let's do this one. Alright, so using your notes, right? Your A is 1, your B is 11, your C is 18. Two things that multiply. That gives you 18 times 1, which is 18, and your B value, which is 11. So what two things multiply together gives you 18, but add together gives you 11. So here's your factors list, right? You guys can, for bigger numbers, some students like to use this. So two things that add together, that will give me 11. That looks to be 2 and 9. So 2 and 9, and since a is equal to 1, those are going to be our factors. X plus 2 times x plus 9. Okay. Now, on your guys' Khan Academy homework, they're going to give you problems like this with an area. So you guys know, well, in order to get the area of a rectangle, it's base times height. So basically, this times this will give us the inside. So what that lets you guys know is, hey, why don't we just find the factor of this, and then once we find the factors, the two components are going to be the two things multiplied together, which would give us this and this. So let's factor. I'll use a different color. Okay, your guys' A value is 1, your B value is -4, and your C value is -12. So our A times C is -12, our B value is -4. What two things multiply to -12, but when added gives you -4? So if you don't know, if you guys make your lists, well, if I add or subtract any of these, the only values that will give us that is going to be -4. So it's going to be -6 and 2. And is A is equal to 1? Yes, it is. So our factors is right there. X plus 2 and x minus 6. Now we found the factor of this, right? Which means its length and width should come from right here. Well, this looks to be the length, so that automatically means this must be the width. Look, you guys, that's the length, right? The same, so that means this must be your width. So it's going to be x minus 6. Okay. All right, example 4. Now we get into a little bit more creative factoring methods, you guys. So notice that this is not 1. That's A is equal to 4, right? But you should always check to see if you can factor out a greatest common factor from each term first. If you guys take a look at this, you can factor out a 4 from each of these terms. So 4 in parentheses. 4 divided by 4, x squared. -28 divided by 4, -7x. 40 divided by 4 is 10. So once you guys factor, then this would give you guys your new set of values for your A, B, and C. So then, from here you guys, you factor again using our x method. So A times C is 10, our B value is -7. Two things that multiply to 10, but when added gives you -7, and that's -2 and -5. Now, this was not originally A is equal to 1, but this is. So since that's A is equal to 1, we can just use these as our factors. So keep the 4 out there because it was there originally, right? X minus 2 and x minus 5. Okay, last one, example 5. So this is A is not equal to 1, so that's a problem. But you should once you guys recognize that, you should automatically ask yourself, can I factor out anything from every term? And you can. You can factor out a 6. So 6 in parentheses, 6 divided by 6, 1, so just x squared. -30 divided by 6, -5. 24 divided by 6 is 4. And now we have our, in the parentheses, A value, B value, and C value. Let's make an x method. A times our C is going to be 1 times 4, which is 4. Our B value is -5. Two things that multiply to 4, but when added gives you -5. -1 and -4. And since A is equal to 1 inside the parentheses, those are our factors. So we got 6. Don't forget the 6, you guys. X minus 1 and x minus 4. Again, just a nice review. So remember, you guys, these notes, specifically verbatim, these notes due today, Khan Academy due tomorrow. But this should help you guys out. Also, on the quiz on your guys' Khan Academy, it's a combination of last week's notes and this week's. So use both notes to help you guys out, okay? Alright, see you guys later. Miss you all.